The event is live. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are here. The fusion is live. The event is in full motion, full swing, you guys. We're starting to get fragments for Donnie, Donatello. All the supporting events are live, and today we're gonna go through them, through the kit of the new champions added to the game with the new update. Very exciting things. Let's get right into it. First, I want to start off with the promo code, Raid Vision. Alright? You go ahead and you type Raid Vision, and bam, you're gonna get yourself a 5-star chicken, some multi-battle attempts, some silver, and some energy potions to keep you going through this fusion. You're going to need them. 150 multi-battles, 5-star chicken, 2 potions, 300,000 silver. You're also gonna get a raid update gift. Don't forget to use my promo link to get yourself a free legendary Raphma tab, as well as the epics Tagore, Ugo, and Lady Quillen as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. And that is all you have to do to get your free legendary Raphma tab, as well as Tagore, Ugo, and Lady Quillen as you level up in progress. So don't miss out and click on my link right now. Soon we're gonna get the loyalty program out, and you will be able to get Michelangelo Mikey as your daily login reward champion. Now let's go over his kit first. Michelangelo is a banner lord. God knows why they decided to put them in different factions, but they're all different factions, guys. Michelangelo with his slice of pizza, the comedy relief genius. He dropped his slice of pizza. Comes with the double hitter increase attack, strong increase attack if he crits. Single hitter with the chance of placing a strong decreased defense on the target for 2 turns. Chance of stunning for a turn, ignoring 25% target's resistance if this attack crits. Then applies a debuff spread, taking all debuffs from the target and then placing them on all enemies. Will ignore 25% of each target's resistance if the initial attack was critical. On his A3, he AoEs with a strong decreased attack chance and a leech for 2 turns. This leech just lands. Again, ignores 25% of each target's resistance if the attack crits, then places a taunt on himself for 2 turns. This is nice. Michelangelo can be used both in arena and in PvP content. Passive. Passive effect has a 15% chance to evade an enemy's skill. This evade, I can't wait to try it out actually and see how it works in game. And all of its accompanying effects. If this champion is under a taunt, the chance to evade increases to 30%. So buff him with taunt first, and while he's taunting, he has a chance of evading. This is very much just a more aggressive lowkey for any arena. Whenever Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael attacks, or either one of them, this champion joins in that attack. Wow! So he always double attacks whenever he's teamed up with any of the other turtles. It's always a joint attack. Wow! No, this is awesome! Party dude! Active effect places shield equal to 300% of this champion's attack on this champion for a turn when they receive a hit. It'll only 1 turn cooldown on that active effect. 300% of this champion's attack. I want to see this. And the good news is that he will be the free one. We're all getting a Michelangelo, and we're all gonna benefit from this passive, this taunt. He reads amazingly. Let's move on to the other turtles and the other champions added to the game. Let's talk about the fusion champion Donnie, Donatello. Donnie's a support legendary magic lizard man. Baldacious Bash attacks one enemy, heals all allies by 5% of this champion's max HP, instantly activates 1 random continuous heal on all allies when he A1s. Okay. AoE decreases the cooldowns of all allies' skills, except this champion, by 2 whole turns. This skill's cooldown cannot be decreased by other cooldown decreasing effects. There it is. I really was hoping not to read this. It's fine. So what this means that if we for example take a Donatello and a Lamassu somewhere together, he'll be able to decrease her cooldown, but she won't be able to decrease his cooldown. In any case, he's gonna place a 30% increased speed on all allies for 2 turns after this. This is on a 4-turn cooldown when you book it out. You could probably build him in Relentless Regeneration, and he's gonna serve mostly... Well, he could actually do both. Let's read the rest of the kit. Removes all debuffs from all allies. Oof, this is amazing. Full debuff cleanse with a continuous heal, 15%, and a strong strengthen on all allies for 2 turns, and a 20% turn meter fill. This is great. And it's on the 3-turn cooldown. This is marvelous. The secret of the ooze is one really good cleanse, really good support skill. This makes him both good in boss fights, player versus player, player versus enemy, or entity, or environment, or however you guys want to call it. He's good everywhere, is what I'm saying. I got you, bro, on a passive. Passive whenever Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, okay. This champion joins in that attack whenever any of the other turtles. Are they all built in with this passive? This is awesome. Whenever an ally is about to receive a fatal blow, this champion prevents that ally's death and keeps them alive with 1 HP. Then equalizes that ally's HP. The level of HP of that ally will be brought up to the average HP level of the team. If there are multiple champions on the team with the skill, only one will activate. Yo! This is wonderful. This entire kit is very speed support. You can bring him literally anywhere. I feel like their kit is supposed to mimic the event dungeon and Shredder and his abilities too. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna get to Shredder. Let's continue reading about the turtles. So far, they're very multi-use everywhere, and especially together. Now we have a Shadowkin Leonardo here. We got Leo. Leo's a Shadowkin Void defense champion, so this one might be a little bit harder to obtain unless he pops up on some kind of progressive or some kind of other event tournament. But let's read about what he does. Double Slasher. When counterattacking, will repeat this attack against a random enemy. When does he counterattack? Let's find out. Will ignore 3% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. Stacks up to 15%. It's kind of like He-Man, where the more buffs you have stacked on Leonardo, the harder he's gonna hit. Ooh, a lot of buffs here! Places a strong increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. Strong ally protection on all allies except himself for 2 turns. Unkillable and counterattack for 2 turns. This is where this counterattack comes. When he counterattacks, he's gonna repeat this attack against a random enemy. So, New York slice on 2 guys. Shell Yeah is definitely Shell Yeah. Who made the names of these skills? On his A3, turtles together attacks all enemies. The damage inflicted by this skill increases by 5% for each buff on all allies and enemies. Okay, so we're taking that A1 mini effect here and we're stacking it. Removes all buffs from all enemies. Complete buff strip if this attack kills an enemy from this AoE. This effect cannot be resisted. Damage based on defense, of course. And guys, there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Unity. Is he the Unity champion? So what this skill is gonna do, if you bring one more turtle ally, it's gonna ignore 15% of each target's defense per each Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael in the team. Does not count this champion. So it will count any other ally that you bring. For 2 turtles, he increases the damage dealt by this skill in proportion to this champion's missing HP. He becomes a berserker. Damn! And for 3 turtle allies, he activates this skill whenever an ally's HP drops below 50%. Occurs once per skill. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. When you already take that down to a 3-turn cooldown, that becomes... oh my god, that becomes quick! That is a good tank. That is a really good tank. But it's so hard to obtain. And he is the Unity champion of the turtles. He comes with his own built-in stone skin. Hero and Half Shell places stone skin on his champion for 1 turn each time the champion's HP drops below 50%. What? Whenever Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael attack, this champion will join that attack. They're all built in with an ally attack. They all attack together. The more turtles you have, the better. And if you get this particular turtle, I think it's time for my account to see a Void Legendary finally that I pull from shards. Hey! I want this one. If I am gonna pull anyone, it's gonna be this one. Turtles together, man. Super, super solid. We have 1 more turtle to go, and he's a barbarian. Of course he's a barbarian. That's just typecasting. And that is Raphael, legendary attack champion. A1 double slashes, it blocks revive if he kills a target with this skill. Each crit fills his champion's turn meter by 10%. Fast nuker. An AoE on his A2 that ignores shield, block damage if he's under a berserk, placed by himself. If this champion is not under a berserk, placed by himself, the damage inflicted against enemies under shield buffs increases by 50%. Each crit fills the champion's turn meter by 10%, yet again. He places a berserk on himself? There it is. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Not today, knucklehead. Each hit will ignore 20% of the target's defense. That's a lot. 3 times. places a perfect veil and an unkillable on this champion for 2 turns if the target is killed. If the target survives, plays a berserk on this champion for 2 turns instead. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked. There is where the berserk comes from. I wonder what the damage multiplier is on this one. But I bet it will be Gynamanosaurus. I bet it will be big. I bet this is gonna be a very hard smacking one. And I bet all of his skills are gonna hard smack. And not only, you're gonna get a turn meter fill from literally each and every single one. Here you can get a 20% fill. Here you can get a 40% fill. 50 even. Here you get a perfect veil and unkillable. If you do kill an enemy with this, ignore defense is highly likely. Let's read the passive NYC beatdown. Joint attack with the turtles again. Berserk on himself for a turn when any champion dies. So it can be an ally too. And a 20% chance of granting an extra turn when attacking under Berserk placed by this champion. And if you guys are wondering what Berserk does, it is gonna both increase the damage inflicted and received by 50%. So he becomes a perfect glass cannon. 3 turn cooldown, 3 turn cooldown, no passive active skill here. Raphael is a must-have. All of them are must-haves. There's not a single champion that I can miss out during this event. Now we have 2 more champions added to the game, and one of them is April O'Neil. Let's see how much of an ally she is in the Raid universe. Hello? What? This is the first time I've seen show a drop-down menu for all these effects, buffs, debuffs. What is going on here? She has a 50-50 of crowd controlling the target for a turn, and she's gonna place either one of these. That is a Russian roulette. That is awesome. That is so fun. Then place a perfect veil on herself for 2 turns. This is so fun. You never know what you're gonna get type beat. You might be spared with a simple fear, but you might otherwise be put to sleep provoked, which is even worse. Wow, this is... and it's on her A1, guys. Explosive Scoop. Attacks one enemy. Has a chance of stealing all buffs from the target. That's a good chance too. Also has a chance of stealing 100% of the target's current turn meter. Damn. Oh my god. Anywhere you take her should be good in any dungeon that allows you to steal the target's turn meter. Then has a 75% chance of placing a Nullify debuff and a Seal debuff on the target for 2 turns. Those are 2 debuffs that I've never heard in my entire life. Let's read about them. Nullify. Champions under the Nullify debuff cannot have their skills activated, participate in ally attacks, be granted an extra turn on an instant turn, have their skills cooldowns decreased, have their shield value increased, have their destroyed HP restored, have their HP swapped by allies or by themselves, evade enemy effects or skills, have their turn meter equalized, or have their HP balanced. Wow! What is this crazy debuff, man? And then she seals. There are 2 versions of this debuff, Seal and Master Seal. The Seal debuff blocks effects from gear sets and masteries, except stat boosts granted by artifacts and accessories, as well as masteries that only boost stats like Blade Disciple, Flawless Execution, etc. Master Seal is an enhanced version of this debuff, which additionally blocks the effects from blessings except stat boosts. Now, April is definitely a must-have too. This is absolutely incredible. It is on a single enemy, but this is very nutty. Steals the turn meter completely, nullifies and seals them for 2 turns. She also has a passive effect on this. A2 has a 25% chance of activating the Explosive Scoop on an enemy when they gain an extra turn or instant turn effect. What? How does that work if it's on a cooldown? Well, this can probably be decreased hella. This is very nutty. A3 increases accuracy on all allies for 2 turns and decreases the turn meter of all enemies for 20% and then grants an extra turn for her. Ace Reporter, as she is. Whenever an enemy has their skill activated, teams up with allies to attack, gains an extra turn or an instant turn, has their skills cooldowns decreased, gets their shield value increased, gets their destroyed HP restored. So basically any of the effects that Nullify prevents, evades an enemy effect or skill, that is also included, will decrease all enemies' turn meter by 10%. Occurs once per skill, so she nullifies, and anytime a champion is not nullified and performs any of these actions, she's gonna decrease their turn meter. Simple little control. Whenever enemies remove active effect, transfer or decrease the duration of any debuff to 0, decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 25. Whoa! If there are multiple champions on the team with the skill, only one will activate. She's heavy. She's a heavy punisher here for any cleansers, any equalizers, any rebalancers, any tanks, any turn meter increaser, any shield increasers. Screw your Wixwell, screw Androx, screw literally anyone. April O'Neil comes in. Ally speed in arena battles by 28%. This is, yeah, very arena targeted. Nullify and seal in particular, and especially the turn meter reductions. Very, very arena champion. Can you guys see me? God, I've disappeared. And of course, the cherry on top of the cake, we got Shredder. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villain comes back in the Raid universe to torment us again. Void HP champion. Let's read his kit and know what to worry about in the event dungeon and how to prepare. The Ripple Slasher. Second and third hit of this skill will ignore 5 and 10% of the target's defense respectively. The second and third hit of this skill will deal 10 and 20% more crit damage respectively. Hard hitting A1, man. It's troublesome, for sure. He raises crit damage the more he hits. AoE twice. Each crit destroys the enemy's defense by 5%, stacks up to 30%. Ooh. Each crit also increases this champion's max HP by 5%, stacks up to 30%. That's very mythical of you. Shredder, Shadow Shinobi. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing a leech for 2 turns, so that's an AoE leech twice. This debuff cannot be resisted if he's under Veil or Perfect Veil. Does he bring those himself? AoE before attacking steals all buffs from a single target enemy. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15% for each buff stolen. This is bad. This is bad. That I'm willing to bet that his Perfect Veil and Veil comes here on his passive. Will ignore 15% of each enemy's defense as well as shield, block damage buffs. If this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil, will ignore 30% of each enemy's defense instead. Dimensional Tyrant on his passive. Passive effect decreases all incoming damage by 30. Damage mitigation by 30%. This damage is split equally among all allies except this champion. Increases his damage dealt by 15% for each dead ally. This is both a very, very good arena skill, and this in the event dungeon is gonna be very painful to deal with. Whenever this champion loses 20% of their max HP in one attack, has a 100% chance to evade the next attack. So you can't smack him too hard, otherwise he'll evade the next one. When this guaranteed evade effect activates, he places a Perfect Veil. This is bad jutsu. He places that veil on himself for 2 turns and has a 50% chance of placing a True Fear on all enemies for 1 turn. The True Fear debuff cannot be resisted. Shredder is also an absolute must-have. He's probably going to become available through some of these events that we're going to be getting throughout this event. The Ice Golem tournament is live. We're going to go and raid that right now as we speak. Champion Chase starts tomorrow. Champion Training Gear Enhancements start tomorrow. We got the Dungeon Divers already live. So go and hit your Ice Golem. Start getting your Donnie fragments. You best bet I will be participating in this fusion. I'll try to get all the turtles. Maybe even April as well. I don't know about Shredder. Donatello Summon Pack is live. I feel like I'm going into this fusion somewhat prepared. Let me guys know in the comment section what you think. Which one your favorites are. What are you looking forward to most? And next time we're gonna dive down into the event dungeon and give it a little test run. Watch out for the loyalty program. Start claiming your free Michelangelo today. Snatch your promo code. And I will see you guys again in the next one. Bye!